grow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
An Aussie trekker travels to America to hike an epic trail.
It was rocky, it was imposing.
But Eric Robinson never made it to the end. I'm Dave Cawley. Follow my podcast, Uinta Triangle, UINTA, on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. A long process underway now in the U.S. Senate, heading toward a final vote on President Trump's budget bill. Republican leader John Thune.
Republicans fundamentally have believed that it's better if you allow the American people to keep their own money, that you distribute power out of Washington, D.C., back to state and local governments who are closer to the people and can make better decisions that are more informed by what's actually happened in their individual states.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer sees it like this.
There's a small group on that side of the aisle, MAGA hard right-wingers, who are dictating what's happened, and all the rest of the senators on the Republican side who know it's wrong go along.
The U.S. Supreme Court says it will take up a campaign finance case as Republicans look to shelve limits on what parties can spend in coordination with candidates for Congress and president. Zachary Shemtab of the SCOTUSblog.com.
It's a challenge to whether political parties can be restricted from spending money on campaign advertising with input from political candidates. So this could potentially upend campaign finance regulations a great deal.
The Trump administration says it's investigated Harvard University and found the school failed to protect Jewish students from harassment and is now threatening to cut off all federal funding. Now to New York, CBS's Katrina Kaufman is covering the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial.
The jury has now gone back to deliberate. After all of these weeks of testimony, 34 witnesses, they are going to be deciding whether they ultimately think that Sean Combs is guilty of these crimes.
Police in Idaho call it an ambush. A man who they say set a fire, then shot at first responders, killing 2 firefighters. CBS's Andres Gutierrez says the body of the suspect was found.
They said that they found him after deputies ended up pinging his phone. There was a phone that had been in that particular spot for several hours right after 3 o'clock and had not moved since.
A dramatic rescue at sea, as we hear from CBS's Stacy Lynn.
A Disney Cruise Line ship was returning to Fort Lauderdale when a child fell overboard, and her father jumped in after her. The crew threw life preservers into the water and launched rescue boats to save them, while the father treaded water with his daughter in his arms. The heroic rescue caught on video and posted on social media by passengers, who cheered when the mission was complete.
There's word President Trump will visit a new immigration detention facility in Florida that's been labeled Alligator Alcatraz tomorrow. Checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 174 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people
at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
More on that ambush attack on firefighters battling a Northwest wildfire. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk, in Fife, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near the Fife curve. You are bunched up right there through the curve. In Tacoma, a lane is blocked on the ramp to southbound I-5. To westbound State Route 16, you're backed up from Center Street to the Emerald Queen Casino. Travel time Federal Way to Tacoma is 15 minutes. That's about 5 longer than usual. In Tumwater, a vehicle fire is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near 93rd Avenue Southwest. Traffic brought to you by the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle training camp kicks off July 23rd through August 12th. Join them lakeside for your first look at the 2025 Seahawks.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Law enforcement right now, there's an active shooter zone. Everybody shot up here.
We're learning more about the ambush attack that left 2 firefighters dead in northern Idaho. Live to Coeur d'Alene and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey. Luke?
Heather, I'm just down the road from the scene of that shooting. Smoke still hovering through the tree line here and hovering over the entire town of Coeur d'Alene. That fire was started by the shooter before the Kootenai County Sheriff says he ambushed and killed those 2 firefighters. This dad, Peter Petticolis, was FaceTiming with his son and heard the shootout between SWAT and that lone gunman in the background.
I could hear the gunfire, and he was saying, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one.
Well, yesterday, this was a town that was terrified. Today, it's a town in shock and mourning the loss of those 2 firefighters. Live in Coeur d'Alene, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A 28-year-old man has been arrested after Seattle police say he stabbed his own mother. It happened yesterday at a home in Yesler Terrace. A neighbor called 911 after the 58-year-old woman showed up at their door. No word yet on a motive. The man accused of burglaries and robberies at the homes of Seattle area sports stars has a court date today. Prosecutors say Earl Riley IV stole luxury goods from the homes of Mariners center fielder Julio Rodriguez and former Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman, as well as others. Riley was supposed to be in court last week, but refused to leave his jail cell. The city of SeaTac insists safety concerns have prompted it to cancel upcoming 4th of July fireworks shows.
Last year's celebration at Angle Lake Park featured a failed drone show. A tech mishap sending 55 drones into the lake below. This year, the evening event canceled.
The drone mishap is not the reason for the cancellation.
Rather, city spokesman David Inman citing safety and a lack of security staff, stating last year's show brought 10,000 people to the park and just 10 security officers. Next year's 4th of July events are canceled too. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle turned up the volume over the weekend as an estimated 250,000 people flooded downtown for the city's 51st Pride Parade. With the theme louder, the celebration was a call for unity, visibility, and joy. Grand Marshal and Congresswoman Emily Randall tells KIRO 7 TV.
It means speak your truth, speak your peace, and speak up. That's what it means to be loud. Do not hold it in. Be loud. All the time.
Randall says it's important to fight for those who feel they are not safe to be out. This weather update brought to you by Stade Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the mid-80s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
I'm on top of my game today because Chef tried to set me up. Hey, it is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, June 30th. That's right. Ursula, good morning to you. Come on now.
Good morning.
He tried to come back and set me up.
He did. Welcome back, Chef.
Good
morning to all of you. It is a gorgeous day. Look at this.
What kind
beautiful
of,
Monday.
What kind of day is
it
Ursula?
is Chamber of Commerce all day long. Hey, coming up at 9:30, I don't want to bring you down, but have you filled up your gas tank recently? Because if you think it's expensive now, it's about to get even more expensive. So we'll talk about that coming up at 9:30. As always, we invite you to join us on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. You can also share your thoughts on YouTube if you're watching the show from there.
Nick, good morning, bruh.
Morning, man.
Good to see you. All right, let's get to it. Ursula's top stories of the day, brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
It started as a brush fire near Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, but it quickly turned into something far more sinister and deadly.
Law enforcement right now, there's an active shooter zone. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here.
Authorities say a man deliberately set that fire, then waited with a high-powered rifle, ambushing the firefighters who came in to help. 2 of them were killed. A third was critically injured and is now stable after surgery. This firefighter was calling for more help as bullets were flying all around him.
Another Coeur d'Alene firefighter down, needs help immediately. We need law enforcement immediately.
The shooter has now been identified by the Associated Press as a 52-year-old man who was later found dead in the woods, tracked down Gee using cell phone data. Investigators believe this was a planned attack and that he acted alone, but the big question is what could have possibly been the motive. During all the chaos, firefighters had to stop their work as the fire was spreading. It has now burned at least 25 acres. It's still not out. And then shortly after, obviously, with 2 firefighters down, there was a solemn procession that carried the fallen firefighters to Spokane. People lined the streets in silence. In all, more than 300 officers responded, including the FBI. A no-fly zone is still in place, I believe. They're still searching the area because they're concerned he may have stashed more weapons nearby.
Absolutely sad. Ruined the end of my evening yesterday on Sunday to hear this news. Attacks on first responders, attacks on firefighters and police officers is sick. There's really no words to really talk about this. Thoughts and prayers all over this as well. I feel like when this happens, everybody wants to see, well, who was the shooter and why did he do it? I'm going to say this, Ursula. I don't care who the shooter. I don't care who the name is. I don't care why. I don't think we'll ever know why sick people do these things. At least normal people like most of you that's listening, and you and I, Ursula, most people don't understand that. But I will say this, though. If you're posting today thoughts and prayers for Idaho, but you have no problem with 1,500 people being pardoned from January 6th, then your post isn't really about concern for law enforcement. It is more of a, hey, I just want to let you know which side I'm on. So just want to make that very clear today.
I do want to know more about who this person is. And again, I didn't mention the name because the Associated Press has listed it. It has not been officially released as of yet, but I would want to know, like, what was the motive. I'm not interested in trying to align. Okay, see, this person is on this side of the fence or that side of the fence. But the more we know about a potential motive, the more we know about what led up to this particular thing, the better chance we have of preventing another one. Although we say that, and it just seems like these kind of things keep happening. What made this one so different was setting a fire to lure first responders in and then to ambush them. I mean, that is just such a low and depraved thought.
Yeah, it is low. It's low all the time, and I keep being reminded how people pick and choose when they have thoughts and prayers for law enforcement. Don't pick and choose. It has to be consistent across the board. So that's why I am coming with this fire today, because I see it happening. And by the way, I totally understand your concern for who the person might be and why they would do something like this. But right now, we are at a time where politicians demonize people that are undocumented immigrants in this country. We are at a time where people would sit there and demonize people that in this or LGBTQ and those people and those people. And then what they do is they sit here and they wait to see what happened in Idaho. And then when it happens in Idaho, if it were any of those groups that they consistently demonize, they would use that as a way of, see, I told you. But at the end of the day, people can be sick, and this person that did this is sick.
Bottom line, there's just too much hate, too much divisiveness, and too many people resorting to violence. And yes, I'm going to call it gun violence, used a gun to carry out whatever sick thing is going on through their mind. Seattle's 51st annual Pride Parade brought tens of thousands of people down to downtown Seattle on Sunday, filling the streets with color, music, and purpose.
It's just a great time to be who you are with who you love.
So this year's theme was about getting louder. Organizers and attendees were pushing back against what they see as a growing wave of anti-LGBTQ plus policies under the Trump administration. And while the mood was really festive, the message was serious. Pride leaders centered trans visibility and support, especially for youth, because of all these laws restricting care and rights continuing to spread nationwide. KIRO 7 TV spoke with this minister who has celebrated Pride almost since its inception.
I have celebrated Pride for about 40, 50 years now, and, since it's been going, came out in the 70s, and I love being here. I love being with this group of people from my church that we're everything, and we love everybody, and we want everybody to come, and we know that God is everywhere around us. All these people, you, this camera, everything. And it's all about love, baby. It's all about love. I had to be here today for love.
So while the turnout was strong, I need to point out that Seattle Pride is also facing a $350,000 budget shortfall after losing several corporate sponsors. And this, as we have discussed on the show, is part of a bigger national trend where companies are quietly backing away from public LGBTQ plus support. When they showed their support initially, they were all about it. So here's the question. Do these big public displays still have a political impact? I mean, there were over 300,000 people, they believe, who showed up yesterday.
Two things can be true at the same time. Incredible, the amount of people that showed up. Incredible. That is amazing to let folks know. And these are folks that are in your local community. These are the folks that's going to the grocery store with you, that are at your church. I think that is amazing. At the same time, we are seriously under attack because we actually have companies, right, that are afraid to show their support for Pride. Why? Because of the federal government. They are afraid. I feel like some of these topics, I feel like I'm in North Korea. I feel like I am in a dictatorship. I feel like I'm in a country that is trying to be ran by a king. If you don't do it this way and you don't do as I say, these are the repercussions. These are the consequences. So while there was great seeing the people show up in support, I cannot help but to be saddened to watch companies have to worry about the federal administration right now. Like, think about this for a second, y'all. In 2025, we have a federal government that poses a threat on big companies if they show their support for the LGBTQ community.
Or who have any sort of DEI kind of initiatives going on in their company. Yeah.
That doesn't bother some of you? Or does it not bother you because you aren't gay? Right? I'm going to say it out loud. Is that should bother you, even if you're gay or not? It shouldn't matter.
What really bothers me is that some of these companies were so quick to jump on the bandwagon when it was in, when it was considered something that was a point of pride. No pun intended with my verbiage, but it shouldn't change. It shouldn't change from one administration to the next. If you believe it, you believe it. And I'm just so glad that there was a huge turnout. I told you that even both my sons went out there, and they said it was really a beautiful celebration. What a gorgeous weekend to have Pride. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that there was a big turnout. About 85 frontline staff at Multicare Emergency Parkland walked off the job just after midnight, basically launching a 5-day strike. And of course, this is coming at one of the busiest travel and trauma weeks of the year. They are demanding that their first union contract They're accusing Multicare of playing hardball at the bargaining table. The union says Multicare has committed at least 14 unfair labor practices. They range from withholding raises, they claim, to refusing to negotiate key parts of the contract. Staffing has dropped a lot since the union was certified last year, down from 120 employees to around 75. This nurse spoke with King 5 News.
It's affecting patient care because we've lost 19 employees, and that is over the course of this. We're in healthcare because we care. We love our patients. We want to make sure that everybody is taken care of, but it's not fair that we have continued short staffing ratios and we're losing employees because of what's going on.
So again, they're upset that they don't have their first contract. Multicare insists it's been bargaining in good faith. They say the ER also is going to stay open with no disruption to patient care.
Since we've been doing the show, we have talked about either a potential strike to healthcare. We have been talking about the work, the time that they have to put in, not a lot of breaks. We've talked to people off the record about people that work in healthcare that are nurses and all that stuff. And when will this stop? When will we put a real premium on the people that are taking care of our loved ones in hospitals? And that experience, fortunately, and you talked about your good experience, I think when you have good experience, we need to really talk about that a lot. But when it's bad, I'd imagine that it's bad.
Well, here's my question, I guess, to all of you listening right now and to you, G. Should emergency workers ever walk off the job? Is this the only way to force change? And I ask this because, I mean, if they were already hurting before this, now at a week when we've got 4th of July, I mean, the ER is busy. And they already were so stretched thin, and now they've got these people doing this 5-day strike. I mean, what do you think? Should ER workers be able to go on strike?
A law enforcement, are they allowed to go on strike?
Teachers. Should they be allowed to go on strike? I mean, technically, it's against the law.
I will. Let me.
Teachers wise.
Let me play within the rules best I can. I think teachers should be able to strike. I think ER folks working in ER should not. I think law enforcement should not. Because
lives are literally on the line.
Literally on the line. Now, if little Joey missed a little bit of school, you feel me? But for lives on the line, I'm sorry. I don't think ER folks should be able to strike.
And the one that I'm most upset with is that Multicare should not have allowed it to get to this point.
Agree.
That said, I lean toward what you are saying as well, because lives are literally on the line. But I want to hear from you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I was wondering, because we just passed this, the governor just signed into law this bill that allows striking workers to get up to 6 weeks of unemployment after a qualifying walkout or lockout event. But I did read it further, and first of all, the law does not go into effect until next January. Yeah. I disagreed with it when we talked about it.
We did.
I disagreed with that. But benefits would start 15 to 21 days after the strike begins, depending on what day the strike starts. If the contract were to be resolved before that time, no benefits would be issued. But just know that is further down the line. That would not impact this.
I will say that I hope that here soon that we stop hearing about the overworked folks that are working in, whether it's Multicare, whatever. Like, this is rough, right? A lot of can't get pee breaks, right? They're stressed.
That is poor management. That is absolutely poor management. I don't fault the healthcare workers, who I do believe in large part are angels here on earth. Costco is giving early birds a head start, but there's a big but.
What's the but?
Only if you are willing to pay more.
What you mean?
So starting today, executive members, those who pay at the $130 a year tier, and you're all puffing out your chest, so apparently that's you. That's not me. You can now shop an hour earlier than everyone else. So from 9 to 10 a.m. Sunday through Friday, and then you can also get a 30-minute jump on Saturdays. The rest of us, those of us who pay $65 a year, Still have to wait until 10 a.m. to get in most days.
So question for you.
Uh-huh.
Is that enough to upgrade your membership?
No. I go to Costco like twice a year. Pajamas, remember? My pajama incident where I had to go back to get my pajamas that never made it in my bag. Yeah, I love Costco, but I don't shop it enough. I just don't have room for the big bulk items.
How about this? Costco, I think this is great. Yes, I have an opportunity now to go shop early. I said this to Ursula and Chef early this morning. I would rather you do this. Open up an hour early for those senior citizens, seasoned, those 55 and over.
Seasoned, yes.
Ursula and all her friends. I want it to where they can. I want it to where they can go in to Costco early. So I want Ursula and her friends to be able to shop early, Chef, okay?
You started out pandering to our audience there and then really brought it all the way back around.
Back to me?
Okay,
I haven't even turned 60 yet. You want me to start shopping early, Bart?
Yes. And getting $3.99 meal at Denny's.
By the way, I did use my senior discount over the weekend.
You did?
Oh yeah, over the coast. We went to the coast.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're a senior. If you used
I'm
it,
a senior.
You're a senior.
Oh, sure.
Hey, 9:47. We need to talk. I am big mad about a contractor that showed up late. We're gonna talk about that. But at 9:30, guess what, y'all? Washington gas tax. Let me ask you, did it increase or decrease? Well, we're going to answer that next. Gee and Ursula.
You listen to Seattle's morning news every morning. What do Charlie and Manda listen to every afternoon?
I absolutely love listening to John Curley because he makes you think, which I love.
John has a real special talent in being able to talk about the topics we care about, but he's always trying to make it fun. You're going, oh, this guy actually gets it.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio App.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys. And I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Home. Home is where you gather. With friends. With family.
Ball to right field. It continues. Jorge Polanco.
Sometimes even folks you don't know. But in a way, you do. Because you share at least one thing in common. And one thing can be pretty powerful when it's multiplied by 40,000.
Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Welcome home.
Cal and the Mariners are back in town this week, and the homestand gets started with 3 straight value games against the Royals, tonight through Wednesday. Score seats for as little as $11 and enjoy a beautiful summer night at the ballpark. Go to mariners.com/value games to lock in your seats and check out the complete Mariners value game schedule for the rest of the season.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words. Packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way.
like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters, a show that covers everything having to do with your home. Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 3 on KIRO Newsradio, where you'll hear from local business owners who are experts in their industries. From foundation to flooring, roofing and windows, furniture, and financial planning, it's everything in and around your home, and we've got you covered on Home Matters. If it matters to you, it matters to us here at Home Matters. Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO Newsradio, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A community in northern Idaho is mourning after firefighters responding to a wildfire came under fire. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live from Coeur d'Alene with the latest. Luke.
Heather, the Associated Press is now reporting that gunman in this incident was a 20-year-old. Wes Rowley may not be from this area, but may have been visiting people here. I'm just down the road from that shooting scene. The sheriff here says that lone gunman, again, a 20-year-old, set the wildfire, then waited for fire crews to show up. When they did, he ambushed them and started firing. We still have no idea, however, what the motive was for that 20-year-old. He died after a shootout with SWAT teams, and there is an outpouring of emotion here in Coeur d'Alene for those two firefighters and their families. We're live in Coeur d'Alene. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, Luke. A jury is expected to begin deliberating today in the federal sex trafficking trial of rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs. CBS's Katrina Kaufman on the prison time he faces if convicted.
With racketeering conspiracy, that is up to life in prison. With sex trafficking, there's a mandatory minimum of 15 years, and there are 2 of those charges. And then with transportation to engage in prostitution, that's a max of 10 years per charge.
Combs has denied all charges. The Trump administration wraps up its investigation into Harvard, concluding the university failed to protect Jewish students from harassment. It's threatening to cut off the university's federal funding if it fails to take action. President Trump is making the final push for his so-called big, beautiful budget bill. CBS's Nicole Killian.
With his agenda on the line, the president golfed with a handful of senators pressing for passage of his signature legislation, which contains funding boosts for border security, defense, and a tax cut extension, including proposals he campaigned on, like no taxes on tips and overtime.
The Congressional Budget Office says it could add more than $3 trillion to the national debt and result in the loss of health care for millions. After 3 days of voting, local grocery workers have approved a new contract through 2027. It covers employees at Fred Meyer, QFC, Safeway, and Albertsons. Costco is facing a wage theft complaint from the Teamsters.
Local 174 says it has filed multiple complaints with the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries. A group of 150 drivers in Sumner claimed Costco has yet to pay a cent following the recent collective bargaining agreement between the two sides. The union says the group made history as the first Costco distribution drivers to join the Teamsters. They ratified their first contract in April. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
We have reached out to Costco for a comment. From the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk, it looks like that crash has been cleared from I-5 southbound near Fife. Your backup is breaking up. In Tacoma, a lane still blocked on the ramp to southbound I-5 to westbound State Route 16. You're backed up from about Center Street to the Emerald Queen Casino. Travel time Federal Way to Tacoma, 19 minutes now, still about 10 longer than usual. And in Tumwater, a vehicle fire is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near 93rd Avenue Southwest. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the mid-80s. It is 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Hey, I meant to say this morning, I was at the Quinault Resort. Over on the coast. Beautiful at the coast, although not nearly as beautiful as right now. It was really fun.
You was with my girl, Sonia.
Yes.
Shout out to Sonia.
Exactly, yeah. And I met one of our listeners, someone who's been listening for years and years.
Really?
Yes, met him out there. Hi, Trent.
Trent.
From Arlington. Okay, anyway, hey, I just thought about that as I was looking at the beautiful sunshine today.
Well, before you go, I had one that listens to the show, and very honest, it's hard to kind of deal with you, G, but I love Ursula.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. All right, he did.
Well, they're not wrong.
Thank you for your honesty.
Okay, in all honesty, Trent, he was listing all the shows, because I just, out of curiosity, said, hey, G, what radio station do you listen to? Do you listen to radio?
Yeah.
The moment someone says, I listen to radio, I'm like, okay, for sure.
Yeah.
And he's listing all these things. I really loved Ron and Don, and they never mentioned our show. I'm like, well, my name is Ursula from the Gee and Ursula Show.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Trent.
All right.
Hey, starting tomorrow, it is going to cost you even more at the gas pump. So Washington's gas tax is increasing by 6 cents a gallon. It's going to be a total of 55.4 cents, which makes it the third highest gas tax in the country. We're only behind California and Pennsylvania. This is according to the Seattle Times. The average price of gas in our state is now about $4.41 a gallon. That is nearly $1 higher than the national average. And lawmakers, as we have discussed on this show, they keep saying, well, we have to increase the gas tax because we need to have these transportation projects like 405, Highway 167, Snoqualmie Pass, replacing the Portage Bay Bridge. Those are all paid for by gas taxes. Senator Marco Lias calls the gas tax, this is a quote, the workhorse of our transportation system, but he also admits it is a workhorse that is getting tired. More people are driving electric vehicles, more people are using public transit, and as cars are getting more efficient, basically the gas tax revenue is starting to fall short, and there is no backup plan. So, I mean, this is the workhorse. It's like every road project relies on gas taxes. And there is, actually a Senator Curtis King, who's Republican, who says he supported this tax increase. And he says he thinks the bigger issue is the state's climate policies. And he says the cap and trade program, which we've talked about, is really not delivering what was promised. And experts tell the Seattle Times the state's carbon market alone added about 50 cents a gallon to our gas tax.
Ursula,
So it's going up again starting tomorrow.
You all know. You've heard this show, and you know where I'm going to stay. Instead of me saying it, I have a question. I'm asking this of you, Ursula. I'm asking this of all of our listeners. Which one would you rather deal with? Would you rather deal with Ursula every other day telling you about some new tax, this right here, a gas tax, this right here, knowing that the state of Washington pays $1 more than the national average? Does that bother you more than the idea of paying a state income tax? Ursula, I'll start with you. Which one? Which one bothers you the most?
I hate the fact that we keep adding taxes. We keep adding to this gas tax. There's no way we should be third highest in the country.
Agree.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I'm going to give you a but is because I would be in favor of a state income tax if it didn't mean all the other taxes would still keep going up. And that is the assurance that most people who are against the state income tax would point out and say, I don't agree with it, not just on a state constitution basis, but the fact is I can't trust our lawmakers to not add a state income tax and then still tax the heck out of us.
And I believe you, and I believe those that are thinking that. I know I've heard you all text or say and text this same comment, but I feel like, Ursula, when we do this show again in another 5+ years, I have a feeling that we will be saying the same thing in 5 years.
Do you know how long we've been talking about a lack of a state income tax? From the day I moved here to the state of Washington, this has come up, and it still hasn't happened. So the reason I say, and the Democrats are in majority right now, and it still hasn't happened.
I think the reason why we feel it more, and I think that is because of our cost of living. I think that's because the margin of error right now that we are all living and dealing with is not what it used to be post Amazon moving here. When you start talking about people right now renting 2-bedroom apartments for $2,800,
right.
When we are talking about people renting, young people in their 20s having $3,200 rents, when you got a lot of people sitting on mortgages right now at $1,500 a month, $1,600 a month. So we are still going to be talking about an increase in tax. So you guys can call me crazy all you want. I just have a hard time wanting to continue in this lane.
I'll tell you when we might be more trusting of the idea of a state income tax.
When?
Is if we really saw that our state lawmakers and anyone in government really exhausted every possibility when it comes to spending first.
I mean, they just had the largest layoffs in decades in Washington state. Like dental care is going away for kids under the state Medicaid program. There have been a lot of cuts.
No, the state layoffs? No.
Yeah. Yes. There have been a lot of layoffs. But, I mean, to your point, what is with the carbon tax? Why are we still doing it?
Just because I wasn't expecting to
Sorry.
The state budget, did it go up or down?
Up.
Yes. We're spending more today, right? Yeah. Did taxes go up?
Okay.
Dramatically.
Like the sun rises every day.
But
correct.
But
so that's why I'm just saying,
No, Ursula,
until you can convince me that we have exhausted all possibilities, sorry.
I feel you, Ursula. But I just want to know, look, I'll tell you all the things that I think about by myself in the privacy of my own home. I sit and I say to myself, self, I am living in a state with no state income tax, with the richest companies in the world. Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing. How is this possible? I'm being serious. How is the state of Washington one of the most regressively taxed states in the country? How?
Well,
that doesn't
have we
bother
talked about
people?
the wealth gap lately?
Like,
Yes.
yo!
The ones who are benefiting are not the ones at the bottom.
And Nick's friends, Nick's Gen Z, people in their 20s, life is not getting easier for them. It is literally getting harder, to which I feel like a lot of us who have our homes, we sit back and we say, oh, wow, you're paying $2,800 for that 2-bedroom? Oh, my goodness. Well, back in my day, that was only $600. And we just keep telling damn stories. We don't want to do nothing.
I know, but if you look at our text line right now, what
I don't know what they saying.
What are they saying?
What are they saying?
They're saying, yeah, no state income tax until we have some kind of guarantee that other taxes aren't going to go up.
Okay. You're right. Hey, I got a story to tell y'all. We need to talk. I am big mad about a contractor that was going to show up late to my house, but I'm even more mad at some of the responses. Well, I'll tell you next, Gee Ursula.
You listen to the John Curley Show every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
I listen to Charlie and Manda, get my pot of coffee going, then turn on Seattle's Morning News. And I begin to build my show that way. And you want straight news without opinion, just giving it to you with the facts. There's only one place to go, Seattle's Morning News.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute. Seattle's Morning News and the John Curley Show on KIRO Newsradio. Download the KIRO Newsradio app to listen anytime.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com. 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Join us at Life in Color, a brunch auction and fashion show on August 17th at the Columbia Collective in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon celebrating 25 years of hope and support. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 17th at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Kick off your 4th of July weekend with a Mariners fireworks show at Seattle's summer home, T-Mobile Park. It's a Mariners patriotic party this Thursday, presented by T-Mobile. Fly ball right field, sailing back, gone! Legend, Cal Raleigh! Catch Cal and the crew take on the Royals at 7:10. Then stick around as the sky explodes with red, white, and boom! Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
J.P. Crawford with a walk-off single. Holy smokes, what a finish.
Lock in your seats now at mariners.com/fireworks and check out the full fireworks lineup this summer, including an 80s night on July 18th and Show Tunes theme on August 1st. Plus, don't miss big-time giveaways like patriotic trucker hats on Friday and J.P. Crawford basketball jerseys on Saturday. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The average family throws out $3,000 of food every year. Now imagine what you can do with that. Go to a ball game, a concert, or a weekend getaway. It's G. Scott here. There are simple ways to reduce your food waste and increase your savings. It starts with a meal plan and ends with a little creativity. Fresh recipes, ingredient swaps. Learn more at usefoodwell.org, brought to you by the Department of Ecology and Safeway. Visit usefoodwell.org. That's usefoodwell.org. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. It's good to have the whole gang back. Chef is back here. Nick is, of course, on the ones and twos. And Ursula looking younger these days.
Why, thank you.
So coming up, we will be talking more about the tragedy out there in Idaho with our first responders. Really sad time, but we will talk about that at 10. But right now, we do need to talk, and I need your help. So I was having someone come over to do some work at my home. They were supposed to be at my house at 8 a.m. At 7:46 a.m., I get a text that says, "Good morning, I am coming." 27 minutes out. I have that text right here. You know how I am about people being late. I've talked about this on the show all the time. So I took to social media. Having someone come do some work for me at 8 a.m. looks like they won't make it on time. If any of you know me in real life, then you know just how much this bothers me. I really don't understand it. If you're going to go make money, how much money would it take for you to be on time? $5? $500? $5,000? $50,000? Would you be on time for any of those numbers? I think it is disrespectful to the fact that how disrespectful would it be if I waited for him to get here and said, once he got here, hey, thanks, but no thanks. That'd be pretty bad, huh, if I did that. The guy gets to my house at like 8:15 or something like that. Ursula, when he gets there. And
8:15?
Yeah, 8:15. Supposed to start at 8.
Okay.
So he shows up, no problem. Okay, come on, gets done. Now, here's the thing that I did not share on Facebook, but I saved this for y'all, the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula, they get back there. Back there, I say, hey, you guys need anything? You need some water? You need some, any of that? No, we're fine. Cool. I go inside. I'm doing some stuff in the kitchen. Maybe about 5 minutes after that. So now we're talking about in 8:20s in that area. I see him at the door. I go to open. And he says, can I use your restroom?
Oh, well, not only do you have a thing about time, but you have a thing about people using your restroom. Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, go ahead right there. He goes in, and then while he's in there, I say, hey, just flush it. The button's on the side. 2 minutes. 3 minutes.
Why are you counting
5 minutes. What you mean why I'm not counting? He at my house. 5 minutes. 7 minutes. So now I know that we passed 7 minutes, and this ain't no tinkle, tinkle, little star. And then all of a sudden, I can see it, Ursula. I can see the steam inside of my kitchen start to boil up. I see the smoke, and this steam, and I mean steam, it hit my nose. Every single nose hair is gone in my nose right now. This dude was not only late, but he came and blew my toilet up. Blew it up. Do you know how damn mad I am? You show up late for an appointment, and then you come into the customer's house and you blow up the bathroom? And then I get on social media and people's like, gee, you need to give them grace. Gee, you don't understand what they went through. You should, quit being a stickler about time. To which I want to say, I find it interesting that so many people justify being late. I don't want to hear about traffic. I don't want to hear about no tire. I asked Ursula, who's been here 37 years, who now has declared that she's a senior. Ursula said, Ursula, how many times have you been late for your show in 37 years? And the answer is 0. So if Ursula cannot be late in 37 years, you mean to tell me one time you...
Yeah, I have a very specific thing, though. We have to jump on the air. Has there ever been a time where, for example, the freeway's been blocked and now I cannot go and someone has to cover for me? Yes, there has been a time like that. Things happen, and I think you are so wired about this punctuality thing, which I know many people agree with you, and it's a sign of disrespect, you say, but stuff happens. The fact that he called you and gave you a heads up is more than a lot of people do when it comes to, and the fact that he said he would show up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, Ursula.
Oh my God! And
Ursula,
then you're counting the number of minutes he's in the toilet.
So, Ursula, if you were to show up late, chef, you show up late for an appointment, chef, to work, and then during that appointment, as soon as you get there, you go steam up their bathroom.
I think that people who live in meatball houses should not cast stones.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Nick, your thoughts on this, sir?
I don't really know what we were talking about earlier.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm sure that Nick would probably show a little more grace when it comes to someone who gave you a heads up, G. I mean, I think this is one area of your life where you are a complete stickler. But there are other things where, you let it slide a little bit, like car tabs.
Oh, good. They did a good job.
Yeah.
So here's my question for you.
Yeah.
They've done a good job.
Yeah.
Should I refer them to other people now?
Depends on if you think they did a good job.
No, they did a good job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I think you're really, the part about him using the toilet.
Man.
Yeah, that's a...
Jamie in Seattle says, I think this is the first time I disagree with G. Wow, Jamie. It's pretty good. All right. Coming up here next on the Gee and Ursula Show, we are going to talk a lot. We'll talk about what happened in Idaho, tragedy that happened out there, and we'll also talk about the Senate GOP tax bill that includes some of the largest cuts to U.S. safety net in decades. Gee and Ursula.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. It's a key day in the U.S. Senate for President Trump's budget bill.
Senate will come to order.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the mission today.
Senate Republicans have to decide. Choose the American people or bow down to Donald Trump and his coterie of billionaires.
But Majority Leader John Thune says it's time to get this done.
So this country is safer and stronger and more prosperous.
A vote-a-rama is going on now, where lawmakers are offering up changes to the bill before a final vote. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
The U.S. Supreme Court's going to take up a Republican effort to eliminate limits on how much political parties can spend in coordination with candidates for Congress and presidents. Zachary Shemtab of SCOTUSblog.com.
This could have major ramifications down the road in terms of campaign finance and carving that out.
A New York City jury is now considering the fate of Sean Combs. Deliberations began this morning. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
The prosecution is really arguing that Sean Combs is the leader of a criminal enterprise and that he used violence and he used fear and he committed these brutal crimes. And the defense has said, in contrast, that there are some things that happened that might have been unsavory, but that doesn't mean that it was criminal.
The Justice Department announcing arrests in what it calls the largest healthcare fraud takedown in history. More than 300 people facing charges for alleged involvement in healthcare fraud schemes, with nearly $15 billion in false claims made. Medicare Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz.
By the time we find out that these criminals have stolen and the money has left the building, it's already offshore somewhere in some foreign country's vaults where foreign leaders are rejoicing in the fact they took advantage of the American people.
Investigators are trying to find out all they can about the man blamed for the attack on firefighters yesterday in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
We do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe that it was an ambush and it was intentional.
2 firefighters killed. The sheriff says the body of the suspect was found next to a gun. There's word an 82-year-old woman injured in the firebomb attack earlier this month in Boulder, Colorado, has died. In the UK, day 1 at Wimbledon, top tennis players in the world are playing in near 90-degree heat. Rough for spectators, too.
It never gets this warm up north, so it's about 20 degrees warmer than I'm used to, and I'm sunburnt all over.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 170 points. The S&P is up as well. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
We're live in northern Idaho with more on the ambush attack on firefighters there. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near South Forest Street. A disabled vehicle has you bogged down midway on the I-90 bridge westbound. In Tacoma, the crash has been cleared from the ramp to southbound I-5 to westbound State Route 16. The backup breaking up nicely there. Travel time's pretty good. Everett to Seattle, 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 33. Renton to Bellevue, 25. Your Tacoma to Olympia drive is about 5 minutes longer than usual, though, at 37 minutes. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. What started as a response to a wildfire
Another Coeur d'Alene firefighter down, needs help immediately.
quickly turned into a deadly ambush. It happened in northern Idaho. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is in Coeur d'Alene and joins us live. Luke?
Heather, the Associated Press is now reporting that the gunman was a 20-year-old. His name, Wes Rowley, may not be from this area, maybe from Arizona, up here visiting a family member. You know, I'm just down the road from that shooting scene. The sheriff here in Kootenai County says that lone gunman set that wildfire that's been burning overnight and into today, then waited for those fire crews to show up at the scene. We still have no idea what the motive was. He died after a shootout with SWAT. There is an outpouring of emotion here for those 2 firefighters killed and their families. We're live in Coeur d'Alene. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A man accused of killing his 3 young daughters at a campsite near Leavenworth earlier this month is going on the U.S. Marshal's most wanted list. Sheriff Mike Morrison tells KIRO 7 TV the manhunt for Travis Decker continues.
Peyton, Evelyn, Olivia, their deaths certainly rocked us, but it continues to motivate us. I mean, we want to find closure for the family. We want to be their voice, and we want to make sure that Travis is held accountable and given his opportunity to be in court.
He says they want to find Decker dead or alive. Washington State will pay $8 million to settle a case in which a developmentally disabled woman was allegedly abused and neglected by her own family for years. Her court-appointed guardian says the state ignored more than a dozen warnings. The city of SeaTac has canceled its 4th of July fireworks show for this year and next. City spokesman David Inman cited safety concerns, pointing out last year's show drew 10,000 spectators with only 10 cops providing security.
Hosting a crowd of that size again would put our residents and visitors at risk.
He says the cancellation has nothing to do with last year's drone malfunction when 55 drones fell into Angle Lake. Hundreds of thousands of people in Seattle celebrated the city's 51st Pride Parade yesterday. KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn was there.
This year's theme, louder.
Speak your truth, speak your piece, and speak up.
Being gay is a privilege, and being out and being able to be who I am is a privilege.
A privilege not yet shared by all, says U.S. Representative Emily Randall, the first out member of this state's congressional delegation and a parade grand marshal.
Fight for the folks who aren't safe to be out.
A parade like no other here in Seattle, drawing crowds from near and far.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the mid-80s. It's 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It's holiday week, y'all. The Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, June 30th. As you know, the 4th of July is happening on Friday. So, Ursula, I need one thing.
Okay.
I need one thing from all of you that you're excited about this week. It can only be one thing. It can be simple. It could be like to spend time with your cat, or to listen to the Gee and Ursula Show, or you doing something fancy. Ursula, you going to the fancy stuff again.
Oh, I'm not going fancy. I'm actually going to go to a little
Where is it at?
Smaller town up in Bellingham, and we're going to watch a fireworks show there after my sister's fiance plays in a band in a little small town community.
That sounds fun.
4th of July event.
That sounds fun.
I know. I love it. I love it. But the thing I'm really looking forward to this week, two things.
What's that?
80-plus degree weather the next couple of days.
Okay.
Sunshine galore.
Yep.
And then on Wednesday night, I get to have dinner with our boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, whose idea was this? Eric's?
No, that would be mine.
Eric sent the text, hey, let's the family get together.
Yeah,
Let's do dinner.
You know what, though? We have... Our sons love family time.
Yeah, they do.
So it is
do.
really cool. Hey, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Oh, wait, I can't get it. What are you looking forward to this week?
Getting in the yard and doing work. Hey, y'all know I got addictive personality.
Your backyard
it's getting there.
Is looking amazing.
Yeah.
You should post pictures of it on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page.
That's all right.
Oh,
because if I do post pictures, as soon as we have any type of topic that deals with, gee, remember this picture? No. But I am looking forward to getting in the backyard. I was out there pressure washing yesterday.
I love it.
I'll do some other stuff. So some people are excited. Chris in Marysville is excited about hot dogs. All right, cool. Let's get to it, Ursula. What do you have new for us? What do you got?
What's new at 10?
Well, unfortunately, we have to start with this somber news as that wildfire was growing in a northern Idaho mountain community. A group of firefighters who rushed to put out the flames instead found themselves in an unexpected shootout.
Law enforcement right now is an active shooter zone. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here.
And this morning, we are getting some brand new details about the alleged gunman. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is in Idaho right now, and he joins us live. Luke, what are we finding out?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Well, I'm about a quarter mile from the scene, just down the road here in Coeur d'Alene, where that ambush took place. That's what it was. That lone gunman set the wildfire here, according to the Kootenai sheriff, and then shot and killed 2 firefighters. A third firefighter was injured severely, went into surgery last night, came out of surgery, and is clinging to life, we're being told. The Associated Press is now reporting that shooter was 20 years old. His name is Wes Rowley. Don't know much more about him. There are reports that he came up from Arizona. He was visiting a family member, maybe working at a tree farm in the area. We still, though, have no idea what that suspect's motive was. Canfield Mountain, that's where we are. It's a lot like Tiger Mountain back in near Issaquah. Really popular spot for hiking and mountain biking, and this is thick, dense forest up here. The firefighters really had no idea where those bullets were coming from. Must just a terrifying moment for neighbors as well, because if I turn down the other way away from the scene, I'm right next to a house, and then further down there's an entire neighborhood down there. I spoke with one neighbor. Listen to this. Peter Pedicolis. Can you imagine? He was out of town yesterday when this was going on. The shooting was happening. His son was here in Coeur d'Alene. They were FaceTiming each other, and Dad could hear the shootout going on in the background between the suspect and SWAT. I mean, he said he was terrified. He rushed to get here to his son. His son's fine. Everyone else is fine. There was a shootout between SWAT and that gunman, a 20-year-old, and we don't know yet how the gunman died, but SWAT teams and the sheriff here says they did find that gunman, and they found a gun next to the body.
Okay, so I want to go back to what you said. The Associated Press right now is the only source that is revealing anything about this alleged gunman. Initially, Luke, they said it was with the same name that you mentioned. I didn't use the name, but they initially said 52 years old. And now they're saying it's a 20-year-old. So I'm wondering, is it potentially they initially said someone with the same name, but it's the elder that they misidentified? I mean, has anyone else confirmed that this suspect, who is now dead, is 20 years old?
Yeah, CNN reporting the same thing. So it's the Associated Press and CNN reporting 20 years old. And we don't have to use the name. Again, we won't put it out there. But, I will say this. Unconfirmed reports, but I've heard it from a couple different sources now that the person he was visiting with could have been Dad, his father. So that could be the age discrepancy.
So this person,
just a guess.
So this person isn't even from that area, or he could be from that area, but does not potentially currently live there right now.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. And I've asked several neighbors and got the name out there. This is a small enough town. Everyone kind of knows each other. Mm-hmm. And there have been plenty of names floating around social media, and nobody knows who that is. Absolutely no one I've asked. So it looks like, maybe hear from somewhere else. And who knows what was going through that suspect's mind.
Okay, Luke, I do want to bring out something else, though, because what time did this start? So the fire was called in, and it was starting at pretty small, and so the first firefighters come in, and then were they immediately met with gunfire?
Yeah, yes, and that's what that's the really scary part here. So 1:30 afternoon yesterday is when there were reports of a fire. There was a 911 call from an unidentified caller, speculation that could have been the shooter as well, calling in that 911 call. But anyways, the fire was started by the shooter at 1:30. 2 o'clock, firefighters got here, the first crews, and you know what? They had not even had time they were just surveying. Didn't get any firefighting equipment out. They just really gotten out of their truck and started walking toward the scene. And okay, what do we got here? What are we going to deal with? And that's when the shots rang out. And that's when at the top of your show, you heard those terrifying calls over the radio, and that's when it all started. At one point, there was a SWAT team in a helicopter with a sniper team on board that helicopter. We know there was a shootout between SWAT and that shooter, but I think they were shooting from a lot of directions from the ground and possibly from the air as well.
And at some point, because I was watching and listening to the coverage as I was driving, and then when I finally got home, and seeing that they initially thought that there could have been more than one, but now police are saying it's just one, right?
Just one. They are convinced by the nature of the scene that they saw yesterday and where the gun was, and the injuries. Don't know quite what they mean by that, possibly because it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but the only one gunman. But one thing they are up there right now looking for is they think there could be other weapons, maybe were stashed in different areas because that shooter was moving around. They had to get out of there last night pretty quickly because of that fire, and they had to pull the body of the suspect out really quickly and get those firefighters' bodies out as well as the injured really quickly. So they're all back up in there now. We've been moved down to where we are because there are about 24, not only U.S. Forest Service, but firefighters, but also investigators are now going to the scene here this morning.
And Luke, if you find out any information about the 2 firefighters who passed, I mean, obviously heroes who were running into a dangerous situation only to be met with, the gunfire, and it's just tragic, and would like to give and honor them in sharing any information about them as well.
Absolutely. There was a procession yesterday evening, those firefighters taking them from the hospital, presumably, but they shut down the interstate, and there was a long police procession for them. This town is just, they were terrified yesterday, in shock, and today they're mourning the loss of those 2 firefighters, and everyone here, the next thing out of their mouth is that they're thinking about their families, and that's what we're trying to concentrate on today.
Luke Ducey, thank you so much for your reporting from Idaho. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about what is happening in the other Washington, in Washington, D.C. right now, because the Senate is battling it out, trying to pass the GOP's sweeping tax and spending bill, which would deliver massive permanent tax cuts, primarily benefiting high earners, corporations, and estates. And the way they're going to pay for them, G, is with some of the deepest cuts to America's safety net in modern history. Now, I did see yesterday that there was some defection, well, let's say specifically North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis voted no based on the $1.5 trillion in cuts to Medicaid.
That between the state-directed payments and the cuts scheduled in this bill, there's a reduction of state-directed payments. And then there's the reduction of the provider tax. They can't find a hole in my estimate. So what they told me is that, yeah, it's rough, but North Carolina's used the system. They're going to have to make it work. All right. So what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid? It is inescapable that this bill in its current form will betray the very promise that Donald J. Trump made in the Oval Office or in the cabinet room when I was there with finance, where he said we can go after waste, fraud, and abuse on any programs.
Okay, remember, that is a Republican senator from North Carolina.
Yeah. If the language doesn't change right now, it tracks simple. It tracks to where there will be people, 17 million in this country, that will lose access to health care. There will be the biggest cut to food assistance for families, the SNAP program. And I think, Ursula, sometimes when we talk about this topic and people are hearing about this, I'd gather that there are people that are listening right now and just like, this doesn't affect me.
It will affect you.
And I'm going to show you reasons and how it will affect you. I'll ask this question. I asked it early this morning on Seattle's Morning News. Have you ever been so hungry? Have you watched your kids ever be so hungry that you will do anything to feed yourself or them? If you have never been in that situation, call yourself lucky. Because there are people in our country that food insecurity is a real thing. We talk about mental health all the time. There will be a mental health decline in this country when you're talking about less people having access to health care. Poverty in general, when more people head towards poverty, this will send more youth to criminal activities, send more youth to gangs. There will be an increase in homelessness. So even though it might not particularly impact you personally right now, you're not on the SNAP program, you don't need Medicaid, it will have an impact on all of us in this country. And sometimes I feel like you all know the trope of welfare queen. That trope, if you don't know what that is a derogatory term that has been used, basically talking about how there are people that's taking advantage of the welfare system. And then people will always sometimes have stories. Oh, I remember I was in the grocery store and the lady in front of me had a Gucci purse in her hand.
She was buying lottery tickets and shrimp.
And shrimp and lobster.
Yeah.
That trope still remains today. And I got to tell you, while I will agree with you that by a small, like your fingernail tip.
Yeah. Is there fraud?
Is it fraud? Yes, absolutely. But I can just tell you that there will be so many people, Ursula, that will be impacted by this. And that breaks my heart because it was being impacted by this because
of the welfare queen trope that still remains. They say things like, that's what I voted for. I voted for that. But you only voted for that until it impacts you or your loved one.
Well, and if you voted for, those who are in office right now because you're like, well, they're going to rein in the spending and we're not going to add to our national debt, this bill would actually add more than $3 trillion to the national debt. So that's not even being accomplished by this. There would be, we talked about the $1.5 trillion in cuts to Medicaid, and that would include adding the mandatory work requirements, or you risk losing coverage. Now, whenever I think of Medicaid, it was just a word to me until I actually had to get my dad on Medicaid. Once you've gone through that process and you realize how rigorous of a process it is, and how it was such a lifeline, because if I didn't get my dad on Medicaid, the cost of his care would have wiped out my mother, and then I would have had two parents basically underwater.
I want to stop right there, Ursula. I really love how you put that. You said Medicaid was just a word to me.
It was. I had no clue until I actually had to, in the middle of a crisis, when my dad had to have his leg amputated at the age of 88, and I was like, we can't care for him at home anymore. He cannot, he has to go someplace. He doesn't have this big fat safety net. They had some money left over from the sale of their house. Let's say you think, oh, I've got $300,000, let's just say, or $400,000, let's say $300,000 in my account. At $15,000 a month, you know how fast that's going to go?
Fast.
Very fast. Mm-hmm. Exactly. He ended up ultimately living in that place for over 3 years. Wow. So again, it sounds like, oh, this is not going to affect anyone. This is just going to take care of the people, all the fraud that is happening. No, it is going to put so many people in dire straits. And that's why someone like, I appreciate, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I appreciate this Republican senator. I mean, the Republicans are so fearful, even though they think this thing stinks. Many of them do. They're so fearful of Donald Trump campaigning against them that, I mean, Tom Tillis is one of the ones that said, I cannot vote for this. Well, the very next day he said, oh, also, I'm not going to be running for office again.
Do you think, I'm asking, do you think that there are a lot of people in this country that really don't understand about what's going on with this bill?
Well, a lot of people. It would take weeks. It's clearly 1,000 pages. It's 1,000 pages, or close to.
So when people hear 17 million would lose access to health care, does that wake anybody up, or is it just no big deal?
It doesn't wake you up until it affects you or your loved one. It's always, well, I'm okay until you're not.
We got scenarios, Ursula, at 10:47. Coming up next, I can't believe this is the first time, Jeff, that we're saying this on the show. Have you heard of AI sweatshops? AI sweatshops. Ursula will break that down next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Seattle is the nation's most male-skewed major city. There's more men in Seattle. They say in the article here, they said the most masculine city, but I absolutely disagree with that.
You've seen the men in this town.
Exactly.
Please. It's not like it's 80-20.
No,
that's when it's hard to meet a lady.
That's true.
When there's 4 guys for every girl. That's when it's here come the bride's time.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state.
I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Join us at Life in Color, a brunch auction and fashion show on August 17th at the Columbia Collective in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon celebrating 25 years of hope and support. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 17th at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandswimspasale.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Every summer we drive to Lake Chelan in our Subaru Outback. That car has been great for our family adventures. We bought it at Carter Subaru, and they have what you've been searching for with over 300 new vehicles in stock, including the 2025 Forester, now with 3.9% financing for 48 months, or go electric with the 2025 Solterra EV, 0% APR for 72 months.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/25.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Spike O'Neill here. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens gave me back the perfect vision I had up until a few years ago. Now, never need glasses again. Never develop cataracts. Been about 6 months since my RLE surgery. My vision is better than it's ever been in my life. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens, privately owned, no corporate shareholders or boardrooms. Dr. Sharp built his business on the principle of always strive to overaccomplish, never overprice. Call 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Get lower home energy bills, cleaner air, and year-round comfort with AeroSeal duct sealing. Starting at just $99 for PSE customers replacing their furnace or heat pump. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The man accused of setting a northern Idaho wildfire in order to ambush firefighters has now been identified. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live from Coeur d'Alene. Luke, what do we know about this guy?
Well, the Associated Press, Heather, is reporting that the gunman was 20 years old. His name is Wes Rowley. May have been from out of town visiting someone here in this area. You know, I'm just down the road from the shooting scene right now. The sheriff says that the lone gunman set that wildfire, like you mentioned, then waited for those crews to show up and then opened fire. We still, though, have no idea what the motive was. The governor of Idaho, in the meantime, has ordered flags fly at half-staff to honor those two firefighters who were killed. Live in Coeur d'Alene, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The Department of Justice is announcing what it calls the largest healthcare fraud takedown in history. Christopher Delgado is with the FBI.
324 defendants were charged criminally, including 96 licensed medical professionals.
The federal government says fraudulent claims totaled more than $14.6 billion, exploiting patients and taxpayers. Here in Western Washington, a group of Multicare workers in Parkland today started what they say will be a 5-day strike to call attention to their demands for better pay and improved staffing levels. Multicare says it is bargaining in good faith and will remain open during the strike. President Trump wants what he calls his big, beautiful budget bill passed before Independence Day. But as CBS's Nicole Killian reports, there's more work to be done in the U.S. Senate.
Before they get to that final vote, they will hold this series of amendment votes, which could be unlimited, meaning it will stretch well throughout the day.
A dramatic rescue at sea.
A Disney Cruise Line ship was returning to Fort Lauderdale when a child fell overboard, and her father jumped in after her. The crew threw life preservers into the water and launched rescue boats to save them, while the father treaded water with his daughter in his arms. The heroic rescue caught on video and posted on social media by passengers, who cheered when the mission was complete. In a statement, a Disney Cruise Line spokesperson commended crew members for their prompt actions. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 156 points, NASDAQ ahead 37. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near South 4th Street. The disabled vehicle's been cleared from the I-90 bridge westbound. Both lake bridges are clear now. You're bogged down on I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time, Tacoma to Olympia, 51 minutes. That's 20 minutes longer than typical. Other travel times pretty good as we start a holiday week. Everett to Seattle, 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 33. Renton to Bellevue, 25. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the mid-80s. It's 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday to all of you. Text us on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We gained a lot of folks on YouTube last week, and we need to check in on them this morning, see how they're doing. We're going to need to figure out another way to get them more engaged this week.
The thing is about YouTube that's different from the text line. There'd be a lot of people on YouTube saying that they're not going to listen anymore.
Oh.
But they'd be back the next day.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Well, we get that every once in a while on the text line, too. And
I know.
I know sometimes we just...
Bless their hearts.
We get it. Sometimes we'll frustrate you. The thing that's different on YouTube is also that sometimes I hear that they go after each other because they can see each other's comments.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, yeah. So be warned.
All right,
anyway, we talk a lot about AI on this show, and I'm going to share that the things I'm discovering about AI, I'm telling you, they are life-changing. But
you've been scrambling or something?
You know how I say every day I'm scrambling? But I have found a way to take some of the scramble out.
Okay, now,
yes.
Think about that, though.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by think about that is taking out some of the scramble.
Yes.
There used to be
so much pressure.
There used to be a point in time that someone would do that job.
Yes.
Hey, Ursula, you do your thing. We're gonna write this up for you, do everything. Imagine this now happening where AI is coming in and taking that job.
Yeah. And it can't take my job just yet. And the reason I'm bringing up that it's changing my job, though, is because I had to start from scratch every single morning, and I'm now finding that there are a few shortcuts that I can take to kind of get the same end product.
It feels good doing shortcuts, don't it?
It does, but it's still... It does. But it's still a work in progress. In any case, though, the thing that we don't talk about is who is behind AI? Who is making it possible for our jobs to be easier? And there's a new 60 Minutes report that pulls back the curtain. And what the investigators found out is not pretty. It turns out many of today's smartest AI systems are actually trained not by machines, but by people, often in developing countries like Kenya, who are paid just pennies to go through some of the darkest content that the internet has to offer. So we're talking about porn, hate speech, graphic violence, day in, day out. And their job is basically to label and sort that content so AI knows what to look for. I mean, you don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, how does AI become AI? Mm-hmm. And they're called the humans in the loop, and their work is critical, but it comes at an extremely steep cost. And I'm talking literally. Many of them are, again, paid nothing. They're overworked. They have no mental health support.
Some of these big companies are going over there, and not only are they getting pennies, they're contracts. Some of the contracts are 1 month. Yo, y'all ready for this? Some of the contracts are week to week.
Oh, that happens.
Week to week.
That happens a lot.
So is that the promise? Are we really bringing jobs back to America? Is that really what we're doing, y'all? Is that the future?
Well, and here's the other question. When you find that out, what do you do? When you find out the company that you support, the company that you buy your Nike shoes from, the company that you buy your clothing from, when you find out that what they're doing is completely unethical, what do you do? So Nerima Wako-Ojiwa is a Kenyan civil rights activist, and he spoke with 60 Minutes. Or is it a she? Sorry. She spoke with 60 Minutes and says big American tech companies are totally taking advantage of workers.
Modern day slavery, because it's cheap labor.
Whoa,
It's cheap labor.
Like modern-day slavery, says Nerima Wako-Ojiwa, a Kenyan civil rights activist, because big American tech companies come here and advertise the jobs as a ticket to the future. But really, she says, it's exploitation.
What we're seeing is an inequality.
It sounds so good, an AI job. Is there any job security?
The contracts that we see are very short term, and I've seen people who have contracts that are monthly, some of them weekly, some of them days, which is ridiculous.
She calls the workspaces AI sweatshops with computers instead of sewing machines.
Okay, something I had not even considered.
What's that?
This. I mean, who's behind AI? And you think it's, these tech wizards who are behind it and making it, possible. And yes, they're there. But once again, exploitation comes into play. And what do we do as a society that doesn't believe that you should be exploiting people like this?
Okay, let's get to it. I think, Ursula, you had the best question right there. What you gonna do? That's basically what you're asking us. For all of us, what is the line, the line in the sand, the place where we say, no, I will not deal with that company. I would not buy from that company. Is there something?
I think that we need to demand, whether it's ethical sourcing, whether it is basically insisting on fair trade, not supporting these companies. And I say that at the same time that I support, obviously, with things like a Prime membership, companies that I know aren't totally on board with paying people what they're supposed to pay and making sure that, you know, some of the things that we buy from so cheap because they're from China, for example, you know, aren't basically made by people who are working under slave conditions. Yeah, I am not an answer. I don't have a good answer.
Neither do I.
I mean, there's one possible solution, actually two. One would be a universal workers' bill of rights that was, you know, endorsed by the United Nations.
Yeah, worldwide.
You could pass laws in the United States that would require companies to purchase products or labor from nations that adhered to a certain set of basic workers' rights. But right now, we're so removed from the supply chain that, like, there's no way to know if you're being an ethical consumer. Just look at what you're wearing on your body right now.
Yes.
I have no idea where all this stuff came
Well,
from.
exactly. I mean, right now, if you take a look on YouTube, I am wearing a dress that I got at TJ Maxx, and I got an amazing deal on it. And I know that it was probably, I know it was not made in the USA, A. Yep. And B, I'm sure that because I got it so inexpensively, it probably was made in a place that is paying pennies to the dollar.
I think, Ursula, Chef, I think what's different today than of yesterday, I think that the big companies, whatever company you want to fill in the blank with, locally and on a national level, the big companies are really the ones that are establishing laws here in this country, are really the ones that are pushing everything.
So what is their incentive, though? I mean, think about it. When they're trying to answer to shareholders, what is their incentive? Unless they are rewarded for having, you know, basically good morals when it comes to that. But that doesn't necessarily mean money, right?
Right.
I mean, so what is their incentive to do that, to do the right thing? If consumers are willing to say, yeah, I'm out of here, but we're not.
But the problem is in the past, we used to have protection from big business. There never used to be a time. Look at the increase in CEO salaries. See the 1,300%. Matter of fact, here locally, right here in Seattle, we have opposition to a tax of the 1% because a big dog, Amazon, is calling the shots.
Did we mention?
That's true.
Amazon.
The big, beautiful bill, 10-year ban on regulating AI at the state level.
Again.
Who's calling the shots, Gee?
Elon Musk runs X. How much did Elon Musk have influence of the last election? Coming up next, scenarios.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/radio. That's leaffilter.com/radio.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So, I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit IRGPT.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
If you have aging parents, you've probably worried about their bathroom. That old tub, it's a slip and a disaster waiting to happen. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. With Bathfitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit, installed in just 1 day, and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
An Aussie trekker travels to America to hike an epic trail.
It was rocky, it was imposing.
But Eric Robinson never made it to the end. I'm Dave Cawley. Follow my podcast, Uinta Triangle, UINTA, on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
At Care Partners Senior Living, we believe in providing quality care at an affordable price. Instead of spending on luxury and expensive art, we invest in our people and accommodations with a focus on compassionate overall health. Our communities offer independent, assisted living, and memory care designed to preserve dignity, independence, in your estate. Affordable, personal, trusted. That's our promise. Please give us a call. We have beautiful Care Partners communities throughout Washington and Arizona. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Okay, before we get to scenarios, guess what Ursula just said during the break? She said, Gee, I would like for you to talk during my birthday. Now, text in, do you think Ursula should have me speak at her birthday?
Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to do toast, and I said,
that's a risk. That's a risk.
Are you going to give her those auctioneering rates or give her the discount?
What? This is not, I'm not.
You know, Ursula, Hit up Lillian. She's got a contract for you.
Oh,
all right.
Okay, wait. Speaking of which, though, you know who's going to do my music.
The DJ.
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
Paying.
It'll be a fun time.
All right, let's go. Scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
So I have recently taken Ursula's advice and have started reaching out to old friends. I graduated 15 years ago, and my life is great. I love my job, I love my husband, and my babies. I heard back from a few friends, and it was great to reconnect with them. But then I heard from a gal that I was friends with in high school, and life hasn't gone so well for her. What started out as a friendly chat has become a daily update of how terrible her life is. She even asked me for money. I sent her $300 to help, but she wants more. I started the conversation, but how can I disconnect this right now? 888-973-5476. Ursula's going to tell you to do one thing. G is going to tell you to do another.
Ursula? I can almost guess what you're going to say. You're going to communicate exactly what it is that is on your heart and on your mind. Which is, I'm so glad we connected, and I was happy to help you, but I cannot continue to help you. And I want to stay connected, but I have to be honest. XYZ. And each conversation, it's hard. I want to be able to support you, but I don't have. You can even say I don't have the time or bandwidth right now. But I want to stay connected. Blah blah. Just be honest. She probably has no idea.
That's the Ursula way of doing things. The G. Scott way of doing things is the next time they message, open the message, look at it, so that way on their end it says
red.
Seen, red, and leave them on red the entire time.
See, now, okay, I'm just going to bust you right now.
Okay.
Because at 9:45, you were talking about how you are such a stickler for someone who actually communicated by text that he was going to be 10 minutes late to an 8 o'clock appointment at your home.
And tell the rest of the story. When they showed up late, they came in and took a steamy in my bathroom.
Steamy creamy?
Tell the whole story, Ursula.
On the bathroom thing, but that's not what got you irate and posting in the first place. But the fact that he stunk up your bathroom, that's no cool. That's not cool. And but you're a stickler when it comes to punctuality and time and your respect.
For sure.
But then you're not a stickler when it comes to
communication.
Because nobody talks like that, Ursula. Nobody does. It's like,
excuse me?
I mean, you're a very unique person. Not once in my life have I called someone and been like, "Hi, it's been really nice getting back together. But frankly, all of your emotional dumping on me is starting to take a toll. And I don't really have the bandwidth to deal with it right now. I already sent you $300. That should be enough to tide you over." No, this is what ghosting was created for.
That's Ursula.
Oh God, I hate
Ursula. Ursula literally has no filter on communication.
Yes.
So I sent you $300.
No, I
noticed you got some new underwear. I saw your shoes. You smell a different fragrance. I recognize that fragrance because I bought that fragrance myself.
I'm not that bad, and you know it. No. But I'm not going to sit there and ghost somebody. I think that's just, you talk about a pet peeve, that's a pet peeve. Rude.
Leave them on red.
You're not honestly giving that advice.
I'm honestly giving that advice.
Same.
I'm honestly giving that advice.
Lord. Nick.
People get the message if you leave them on red, I'll say that. But listen, this dude's got a big heart putting up with this lady's shenanigans, but to be asking for money now on top of giving her daily dose of grief as if it's supposed to be a return on investment, listen, at least get out of Dodge in this situation and find a girl who appreciates your time and money, all right? This is just a rare justice for ghosting someone, in my opinion. I think it's okay in this case because she's not giving the same energy as this guy, and if you leave her on red, I don't think that's the worst case.
I just find that to be the worst. And you know that they're waiting for some kind of response. I would feel guilty the entire time.
They don't feel guilty asking you for $300.
And guess what?
She already got paid.
Let them know that. And by the way, first things first, don't give the money. Unless you only give out the money. You give out the money if you don't expect it back.
I'd rather give you the money than I just bought you for that much. There's some people right now in this lifetime. I don't know if they listen to the show. I bought you. With that money you owe me, I bought you for that. That's how much our relationship is worth. Oh, you want $300? Here's $300. Bought you for that.
Okay,
he bought the permission to ghost.
Your mood just changed.
Because you know my mood is because these are real stories. That's why my mood changed.
But
it's all fun and games with somebody else, but now it's talking about me now.
How much is this relationship worth to you, G? Put a number on it.
On which one?
Me.
On me and you?
Yeah. About $50.
About $1,500.
Okay. All right.
$1,500. You can be done for $1,500.
All right. I'll hit you up when I get my 2 weeks.
There's room for improvement.
Hey, by the way, when we were talking about sweatshops, Doug in Mount Vernon, you know what he said? He texts in and says, AI sweatshops, the pay bites, B-Y-T-E-S.
No, of course he did.
Of course you did, Doug. Hey, coming up next, 11:30, we'll do Agree to Disagree. And up next, we will talk about the big, beautiful bill that's not beautiful for a lot of folks. Gee and Ursula.
What you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
And now, tales of another way. You're packing for a trip. Stuffing clothes in a suitcase works mostly. But such chaos in your carry-on. Then you try packing cubes. Organization? Meet harmony. Sometimes another way is the better way. Like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads, plus provide better access to the ports. It's open now. Try it free through summer. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Concur Technologies seeks developer at their Bellevue, Washington location to be responsible for development focusing on design, coding, testing, and quality assurance of specific SAP product features in a development team. Provide application implementation services typically within the boundaries of specifications and project plans. Design activities include requirements analysis and design documentation. Hybrid work model. Base salary is between $137,259 and $166,500. Health insurance, 401k, and other benefits located at sapnorthamericabenefits.com. Total compensation of base salary plus incentives is between $137,259 and $185,000. Apply at jobs.sap.com. Use requisition ID 427698. Apply at jobs.sap.com. Use requisition ID 427698. Apply at jobs.sap.com. Use requisition ID 427698.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Senate's considering proposed amendments to President Trump's bill of tax breaks and spending cuts with the battle lines clearly drawn. Democrat Adam Schiff.
Donald Trump promised he wouldn't cut Medicaid. But this bill cuts hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid. It is shredding the president's commitment made again and again.
Republican Mike Crapo.
Reining in wasteful spending, as achieved in this bill, is the best way to restore economic prosperity and opportunity for all Americans.
The senators are hunkered down for what's called a vote-a-rama, and it could take all day and into tonight. The House is being called back into session as soon as Wednesday. CBS's Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill.
The House has a lot larger conference to deal with on the Republican side, and as we have seen, this is a very fragile coalition. Obviously, the bill that the House sent over was very carefully crafted. The Senate did make some changes to that, and certainly the House has been clear they're not just going to swallow whatever the Senate sent over.
The Trump administration says its investigation has found Harvard University failed to protect Jewish students from harassment, and it's threatening to cut all federal funding from the school. Stacey Lynn reports.
In a statement, the Ivy League school disputes what the federal report concluded. It says Harvard is far from indifferent on this issue and strongly disagrees with the government's findings. Following its own task force report, Harvard says it released a list of actions and commitments along with initiatives the university's put in place to show it will continue to take this seriously.
The Justice Department has announced what it's calling the largest healthcare fraud takedown in history. The FBI's Christopher Delgado.
It's not just about financial losses. It's about patients being exposed to unnecessary procedures, false diagnoses, and delayed care.
CBS News has learned there has been a dramatic rise in the number of attacks on religious institutions in the U.S. Justice correspondent Scott McFarland has that.
Between 2021 and 2023, the number of assaults in houses of worship, churches, synagogues, temples has doubled. That's a remarkable increase in such a short period of time. It's one that the U.S. Department of Justice is going to have to wrestle with.
Activists say Iranian authorities have arrested and executed hundreds of people in the wake of the war with Israel, many on spying charges. Checking the numbers on Wall Street, stocks have been higher all morning. The Dow Jones Industrial is currently up 134 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
More on an ambush attack on firefighters battling a Northwest wildfire. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near South Forest Street. You are bogged down on I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia, 1 hour now, about half an hour longer than usual. And you're slow southbound on US 2 near the fairgrounds in Monroe. On State Route 18, you are struggling from about the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Law enforcement, right now there's an active shooter zone. Everybody shot up here.
We're learning more about the ambush attack that left 2 firefighters dead in northern Idaho. Live to Coeur d'Alene and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey. Luke, what's the latest?
Heather, I'm just down the road, about a quarter mile from the scene, where there are about 24 investigators and firefighters up in that area where that shooter was yesterday. They're going over, presumably, evidence that they can find at the scene now that they've cleared a little bit of that wildfire out. The Associated Press reporting now that the shooter is a 20-year-old, Wes Rowley. They say that the fire was started by that shooter before the Kootenai County Sheriff says he ambushed and killed those 2 firefighters. This dad, Peter Petacolis, was FaceTiming with his son and heard the shootout between SWAT and that lone gunman in the background.
I could hear the gunfire, and he was saying, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one.
Yesterday, Heather, this was a town that was terrified. Today, it's a town in mourning over the loss of those 2 firefighters. Live in Coeur d'Alene, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A 28-year-old man has been arrested after Seattle police say he stabbed his own mother. It happened yesterday at a home in Yesler Terrace. A neighbor called 911 after the 58-year-old woman showed up at their door. No word yet on a motive. The man accused of burglaries and robberies at the homes of Seattle area sports stars has a court date today. Prosecutors say Earl Riley IV stole luxury goods from the homes of Mariners center fielder Julio Rodriguez, former Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman, and others. Riley was supposed to be in court last week but refused to leave his jail cell. The city of SeaTac insists safety concerns have prompted it to cancel upcoming 4th of July fireworks shows.
Last year's celebration at Angle Lake Park featured a failed drone show. A tech mishap sending 55 drones into the lake below. This year, the evening event canceled.
The drone mishap is not the reason for the cancellation.
Rather, city spokesman David Inman citing safety and a lack of security staff, stating last year's show brought 10,000 people to the park and just 10 security officers. Next year's 4th of July events are canceled too. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle turned up the volume over the weekend as an estimated 250,000 people flooded downtown for the city's 51st Pride Parade. With the theme louder, the celebration was a call for unity, visibility, and joy. Grand Marshal and Congresswoman Emily Randall tells KIRO 7 TV.
It means speak your truth, speak your peace, and speak up. That's what it means to be loud. Do not hold it in. Be loud. All the time.
Randall says it's important to fight for those who feel they are not safe to be out. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the mid-80s. It is 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, June 30th. You know it's a holiday week when I start off the Monday. Didn't open up News Boss one time.
I know that's a regular day.
Yeah, good point. Good morning, Ursula. Everything is good. We're having a good day.
We are having a good day.
Yeah.
Although, when you came in and Chef finally found out about your glasses, he said he liked you even less, a little less today.
I don't know why Chef was saying that.
Well, it's going to come up and agree to disagree. It's coming up at 11:30.
Do you like the meta glasses, Ursula?
You know, the glasses look great, but if anyone hasn't been on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page, you will see the video of me staring at Gee's face, having no idea that I was being recorded. So for that, I don't like them.
Okay. All right, Ursula.
Text us, though, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. At 11:30, I want to find out, why you got these glasses. And do you like them? Do you like having someone constantly chirping? Because now you can hear.
Yeah, I don't really like so sometimes I forget they're on. This morning, you distracted me because you sent a text message.
Yeah.
And in my ear, it's like, Ursula just sent you a message.
Okay, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's just too much stimulation. But anyway, we'll talk about that coming up at 11:30. Text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
The Justice Department has just announced that they have charged more than 320 defendants in connection with almost $15 billion in alleged healthcare fraud. And we're going to hear that.
The FBI's Operation Gold Rush resulted in the largest amount of loss charged in a healthcare fraud case brought by the Department of Justice.
And I wanted to give you more details. This is a report from Christopher Cruz from CBS.
The head of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
CMS is probably the largest target of all, responsible for about $1.7 trillion of disbursements. So it's a big target on our side.
Among those charged, 96 doctors, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and other licensed medical professionals. Federal and state law enforcement agencies throughout the country took part in the takedown, which officials say netted more than $245 million in cash, luxury vehicles, cryptocurrency, and other assets. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
And Gee, I mentioned during the top of the hour break that I wanted to bring this up here in the 11 o'clock hour because it was new information. It is great news. This is great. The law enforcement agencies involved in this takedown of alleged healthcare fraud deserve kudos for going after the crooks. At the same time, though, we do have to be concerned about cuts to social service safety nets. You were talking about, stories of welfare queens and how people just say, this is not going to affect me. This big, beautiful bill, as it's called, is not going to affect me because they're just going after the fraud. They're going after the fraud, but two things can be true.
Sure. Is there fraud? Yeah. It's like me asking back, is there crime? Yes, there is. There's crime, there's fraud, and please go and take care of that.
Yes.
But it is, I think, the method and the way you're going after. I don't know if you guys remember this, but you guys remember when folks at the VA were having to fill out and respond to an email about everything that they did that week? I mean, just the whole Doge thing, and we're going after this, and there was a lot of people like, yes, gee, Ursula, they're going after the fraud, to which we say, great. Who's going to get impacted by the way you go about it?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes. So one of the things at the center of the bill includes $1.5 trillion in cuts to Medicaid. That's like, we talked about the mandatory work requirements, new monthly co-payments of up to 5% of income, reduced provider payments that could close a bunch of rural hospitals, which is a real issue, cuts to care for undocumented immigrants, and fewer protections for nursing homes. I mean, again, we hear from people who say, it's because of these people who are here illegally that it's draining our system. But again, I just want to point out that there are things that are going to affect a lot of people, including many in our community, and we hear from some of them.
When people are talking about, I'm curious, when people are talking about the undocumented immigrants that are in this country, and they talk about them draining our system, draining our resources, really making us hard on Americans. Here's my question back. Do you take into the consideration that in 2023, that undocumented immigrants paid $96.7 billion in taxes? Hear me out for a sec. They don't get any of that with Social Security. So let's say you like the whole idea of mass deportation. You love the idea of undocumented immigrants right now are afraid, are hiding, are not showing up to jobs, are not showing up to agriculture jobs, are not showing up to restaurants. Some say, I voted for this. Okay. So when that tax dollar goes away and this big, beautiful bill passes where 17 million Americans lose out on health care, when we start talking about the less money, less tax dollars coming in, is that going to help? Will you feel better about it then?
And that's the question. I mean,
I know
the answer from me is no. But Mona in Tacoma texted in and said, this is going to impact not just me, but my children too. She says, yes, I work, but the cost of health insurance through my job is outrageous. And that's not even counting the out-of-pocket expenses. We also get SNAP, which is the new name for food stamps. And while it's not a lot, it helps more than anything, especially with 2 toddlers and an 11-year-old to feed. And Margot in Lake Stevens says, as a healthcare professional, I can tell you this so-called big, beautiful bill and its Medicaid cuts won't just hurt the poor. It's going to affect everyone. People without insurance or the ability to pay will go back to relying on emergency rooms because they cannot be turned away there. But they still won't be able to cover the costs, so the burden shifts to charity care, which ultimately drives up healthcare costs and insurance premiums for all of us nationwide. And then, do you want to read this next one? Susan in Bothell says, yes, G, because you asked, have you ever been so hungry that you have thought of things in desperation? She says, yes, I've been so hungry at work that I once sat in the lunchroom staring at a stack of Starbucks napkins thinking, they're recyclable, maybe they're safe to eat. It sounds funny, but it's true. And now my daughter and I are terrified of losing Medicaid and food stamps. She needs her medication for depression, and I cannot afford both her meds and the rent. So you are hearing from people who are part of your community right now who are fearful of what this bill represents.
I have a question that I'm not asking for an answer. I just want you to think about it. And then Ursula will move on. When I say, or Ursula lets you all know, in the proposed tax cut, there will be massive cuts to SNAP. That's food assistance programs for families out here in the country. When we say someone receiving food stamps, what is the mental picture in your mind?
Text us.
Text us. What does that look like? Someone that is getting food stamps, food assistance, however you want to call it. What is the first image that comes to your mind when you think of someone getting food assistance? Go ahead, Ursula.
Well, I wanted to bring up one more comment. I mean, we have a ton of people who are texting in. 253 said, do people realize that the food stamp program is one of the few government programs that actually works? It allows people to eat, and it supports everyone along the chain. Grocery store workers, truck drivers, farmers, feed stores, butchers. The ripple effect goes on and on. Every dollar we spend on SNAP is one of the best investments that we can make in the economy.
Some people, and I'll pull a Ursula right here and go the other side of it. Well, there's some people that's taking advantage of the system, and they're just staying home every day and just getting food stamps.
And the question is, would you rather have a few people who take advantage of the system continue to take advantage? I mean, I want to root those out, first of all, but I would rather have a few people taking advantage of the system while still the vast majority of people who either have no choice or are doing it because that is the way that they can feed their family. I would rather deal with the few people who are using it fraudulently.
Why are we talking about grains of sand when there's an entire mountain of fraud happening all the time? Because the person staying home, I'm living on food stamps. That's not massive fraud. That's not massive fraud. That is a very small percentage. Same thing with Medicaid. The people who defraud Medicaid, they're on the provider side. Nobody goes to the doctor to get unnecessary medical procedures in order to game the system. But right now, like the Trump
say that.
Oh, really?
Some people do. I mean,
like what?
Like go to the doctor and get something covered that really isn't not supposed to be covered. I mean, that does happen on a smaller scale. But what you're saying is what they're going after right now, the healthcare fraud, the massive, they should go after that.
And that's nothing new. They have been going after that for years. But look at what the enforcement priorities are of this administration. For example, the Trump administration specifically told the Justice Department, do not investigate any type of cryptocurrency fraud or violations, period. Meaning that they can run Ponzi schemes. Donald Trump has one right now, his Trump coin. They can run Ponzi schemes on tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of Americans, and that's completely fine, to the tune of billions of dollars, because that's what's in his coin right now. But hey, the person who might be getting an extra $100 a month, that's the person you need to worry about. Are you kidding me?
Hey, Ursula.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus in Kent says, people that get food stamps are abusing the system. That's the first thing I think. All you got to do is look at what they are purchasing. And, I read that, and I was thinking to myself, let's see. What do I see when I see someone in a grocery store using an EBT card? Or what did I buy when I was on that service back in 2012? Yeah. I didn't buy a bike.
Mm-mm.
I didn't buy OE 800. I didn't buy, you know what I mean? Like
I know.
What do you think can be purchased with the EBT card when you're going in there and you're getting a small amount of money?
I'll tell you what people are judgy about. If they see someone dare to buy something that looks like, oh my God, she got a pint of ice cream too.
You know what I'm judgy about? I'm judgy about somebody with $200 billion who pays virtually nothing in federal taxes. I could give a crap about a pint of ice cream.
Yeah, I know. But that's what people, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a reaction to, like, if you're going to be on food stamps, you better be just buying the basics. That's the energy that's going into it.
And what are the basics?
Yeah.
Well, and when you
it's
buy
not going to be a pint of Haagen-Dazs.
And by the way, if you buy something in Safeway and you are using an EBT card, they want you to buy Safeway Select. How dare you buy name brand?
I know. And which is so, think about that, how ridiculous that is. But Jesus brings up the problem. Aaron in Tacoma says, you said, what do you visualize? Aaron in Tacoma says, looks like me, that person, because my family and I had to be on them at one time. Okay, I'm going to squeeze in one more thing. Let's talk about the 4th of July. Because as you know, every 4th on Independence Day, thousands of people descend on the Long Beach Peninsula for what has become one of the last wild frontiers for personal fireworks. So if you haven't been there, you can drive onto the sand, you can set up camp, you can light off as many rockets and Roman candles as you can carry. But that whole idea is facing a lot of blowback right now. According to the Seattle Times, police and firefighters are just simply overwhelmed there. They've got dune fires they're dealing with, drunk driving, fights, and then 19 tons of garbage left behind just last year alone. Volunteers say it's like cleaning up a war zone. And the beach fireworks, they are dumping heavy metals and plastics into the ocean and threatening marine life. So cities like Long Beach have passed local bans, but the beach itself is under Washington State Parks jurisdiction, and so far the agency has not acted. So the question is, should Washington follow Oregon's lead and ban personal fireworks on the beach?
Yes.
Wait, that was simple. Because you don't go.
Well, I got a question. No. When I first moved here, no, I'm being serious. When I first moved here, and like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Like, oh, we're going to Long Beach, or we're going to Ocean Shores.
It's amazing. I was just in Ocean Shores.
Like, that was a thing. And now it's the opposite. Now everybody's going east. You feel me? They go into Leavenworth. They go into Chelan.
They're doing both.
But they don't go to the Ocean Shores like they used to. And when I see pictures of Ocean Shores now, it's usually a negative picture. It's usually, look at all this dump, look at all this trash out here. So I'm asking, do people go there still?
Oh gosh, yeah. So I was just there yesterday, and the beach was full. But this is something that is different. It was different in Washington because in Oregon, you don't drive on the beach like you do here, or at least when I was living there, I just didn't see it.
There's some dunes down there. I think you can do it. But
but it just was, and there's a lot more allowed on the beaches here in the state of Washington. And if it sounds like people just being pigs and leaving behind 19 tons of garbage, I say ban them.
Yeah, agree.
I go to Birch Bay every year, and I've been going there on the 4th since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And to see a community fireworks display that is by an order of magnitudes better than any professional one I have ever been to is incredible. It is an incredible sense of community. And guess what? Everybody gets together and they clean up the beach the following day.
But that's not what's
happening.
It's
1 day a year. Volunteers clean up the beach. Yes, it's like cleaning up a war zone. I understand that. That's part of it.
Ursula.
Okay, question. I want people to text in 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Now, I will say I have been at Ocean Shores and I've been at Long Beach Peninsula. Basically, when at 4th of July, and the fireworks displays are incredible.
Yeah. Well, I believe
the personal ones.
I believe you. I'm just saying, it feels and seems like people that are going less to Ocean Shores like they used to. They don't brag about it like, hey, we're on Ocean Shores. Now it's the Chelans, the Leavenworth.
I think just the Chelans and Leavenworth has become more trendy.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe in your friend group, you're seeing that a lot more. But
The
Ocean
income
Shores
bracket
is
changed.
tried and true. Yeah,
Ursula,
come on.
I know how you take a little shot right there.
No, I'm not.
You
I'm
took
just
a little
saying.
shot at your boy.
It's a little more bougie over going east.
Yes. Hey, before we get out of here, I noticed, Ursula, you and I were talking about this topic, and Chef, when we started talking about the EBT and health and food and all that, you kind of got mad.
Yeah.
You were upset there, huh?
Yeah, because this bill is going to hurt many, many Americans, and it's going to give trillions of dollars to the richest among us.
It's true.
It's true. I just wanted to highlight that, like Chef. He was hot.
Well, I think you're not going to realize it until it happens, and then you're going to feel it.
In 2026 after the midterms, so that the voters aren't voting on it in the midterms?
Coming up next, Agree to Disagree. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
This could be the oddest gift anyone's ever given me.
But I'll bet you use it.
When the time is right, I suppose.
That's the idea.
A plunger.
An Apollo plumbing plunger.
Free for me?
Actually, free to everyone we visit.
Because?
We believe some things you can do on your own.
And if this plunger can't fix it?
Apollo Plumbing will.
Just like that.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
Wouldn't you rather I just call?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
But for a simple backup,
something I can solve myself,
try your free plunger.
I'll admit it's kind of spiffy.
Apply a little pressure.
And if it still won't clear,
call Apollo Plumbing.
The ready right now plumbers.
Our big blue trucks come stocked full of fixes.
And a plunger wielding plumber.
A clean screen trained and trustworthy Apollo plumber.
They come in a jiffy.
Arriving when promised to put plumbing problems in your past.
And give me a free plunger.
That too.
You know, I kind of like this plunger.
I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Just like Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
An Aussie trekker travels to America to hike an epic trail.
It was rocky, it was imposing.
But Eric Robinson never made it to the end. I'm Dave Cawley. follow my podcast, Uinta Triangle, UINTA, on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Through June, save $750 per window and $1,500 per door with leak armor installation only from Lake Washington Windows. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A community in northern Idaho is mourning today after firefighters responding to a wildfire came under gunfire. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live from Coeur d'Alene with the latest. Luke.
Heather, more and more fire crews are arriving here about a quarter mile away from the scene. That's where we are. There are three that just parked right in front of me. They're offloading an ATV. And you might be able to hear every now and then there's a Chinook helicopter that's delivering water to the scene of that wildfire. You might be able to hear it if it comes back around with those giant rotors. The Associated Press reporting now the gunman involved was a 20-year-old, Wes Rowley is his name, may have been visiting from another area, was not from here. Sheriff says he was a lone gunman. He set the wildfire. He warned those fire crews, then showed up to the scene before that gunman opened fire. The governor of Idaho has now ordered flags fly at half-staff for the two firefighters who were killed yesterday. Live in Coeur d'Alene, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, Luke. A jury expected to deliberate today in the federal sex trafficking trial of rapper and music producer Sean Diddy Combs. CBS's Katrina Kaufman on the prison time he faces if convicted.
With racketeering conspiracy, that is up to life in prison. With sex trafficking, there's a mandatory minimum of 15 years, and there are two of those charges. And then with transportation to engage in prostitution, that's a max of 10 years per charge.
Combs has denied all charges. The Trump administration has wrapped up its investigation into Harvard, concluding the university failed to protect Jewish students from harassment, the feds threatening to cut off the university's federal funding if it fails to take action. Harvard disagrees with the findings. President Trump is making the final push for his so-called big, beautiful budget bill. More from CBS's Nicole Killian.
With his agenda on the line, the president golfed with a handful of senators pressing for passage of his signature legislation, which contains funding boosts for border security, defense, and a tax cut extension, including proposals he campaigned on, like no taxes on tips and overtime.
The Congressional Budget Office says it could add more than $3 trillion to the national debt and result in the loss of health care for millions. After 3 days of voting, local grocery workers have approved a new contract through 2027. This covers employees at Fred Meyer, QFC, Safeway, and Albertsons. Costco is facing a wage theft complaint from the Teamsters.
Local 174 says it has filed multiple complaints with the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries. A group of 150 drivers in Sumner claimed Costco has yet to pay a cent following the recent collective bargaining agreement between the two sides. The union says the group made history as the first Costco distribution drivers to join the Teamsters. They ratified their first contract in April. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
We have reached out to Costco for comment. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 110 points, NASDAQ ahead 13. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Bellevue, 2 lanes blocked on State Route 520 eastbound near 92nd Avenue Northeast. You are bogged down right before you get onto the 520 bridge there. In Lakewood, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 near Thorn Lane. You're slow on I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia, 1 hour and 10 minutes now. That's 35 longer than usual. You're slow on southbound. You are slow southbound on US 2 near the fairgrounds in Monroe and on State Route 18 from about the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies today with highs in the mid-80s. It is 74 in downtown Seattle. I'm Claire Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us and texting on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476. Let's get to Agree to Disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Boy, Meta's latest innovation is here to answer the question that literally no one asked, what if my sunglasses could overshare? So Meta's new smart glasses, they're made in tandem with Ray-Bans. They let you take photos, film videos, you can get real-time translations, chat with an AI assistant, and you never have to pull out your phone. They're voice-activated, always listening, and ready to beam your thoughts or, video onto social media at any time. Gee, I think these things should be illegal, but you've got them on your face right now. Defend yourself.
I can't because I agree.
What?
I agree.
Okay, why? I'm curious. And check us out on YouTube. Mm-hmm. See G wearing them right now.
Yeah.
First of all, how much do they cost?
$300.
$300.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
like a regular pair of glasses.
Exactly. So it's not cost. Well, I pay $15 or $20 for my sunglasses.
Yeah.
But those are okay. That's reasonable for glasses. Mm-hmm. Okay, but why did you say, yeah, I agree? Like, are you finding out that these aren't all they are cracked up to be?
No, they're actually better than I thought they would be.
Uh-huh.
But if Chef or anyone else is like, I have a problem with these, yes, these can become a problem. Now, the thing is I'm mature. Don't give me something like this in my 20s. I'd be reckless. That's number one. Number two, right now, these glasses, like I could say, well, I won't do it right now. I can tell it to, hey, what am I looking at? What is that structure? Hey, what's the top news story right now in Seattle? I can do Audible. I can do everything from here. I can have it playing while I'm talking to you.
And it's chirping in your ear. Is there like a little speaker in
It's in the frame. The speaker is inside of the frame that you can't see. But the thing is here's where I think it's going to get real. Right now, I can say, what is it that I'm looking for? What is this structure that I'm looking at? And it'll describe it. The next level is going to be, hey, who's that person right there? Oh, that's Ursula Reutin. She is, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to be able, who is that person? I'm in a cafe right now. I'm in a cafe shop. I'm eating, but I see this person. They look familiar. Hey, who is that person that's sitting across from me? That is Andrew Lanier. I'm not saying we're there yet, but it's coming.
Oh, no. If you have a PIMI subscription, you could totally do that right now.
Yeah, that's worrisome. I mean, the other day, which you can see on our Facebook page, you were asking me about something, and you were trying to make me remember what I had talked about the day before, and I had no clue what we were talking about. And I'm staring in your face, and there's video. You're running the camera, and I'm looking like a fool. Not the first time. And you, with my permission, posted it on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page. But Yeah, I mean, just the idea that you can be recording, people have no clue.
So-
am I looking for a light to see if
Yeah,
if
there'll be a light. I'm not recording right now.
Yeah.
So the reason why I bought these glasses is because for content, right? As you all know, I believe that I do some really cool things. So this past weekend, my work. So Friday night, I auctioneered. Well, Friday after work, I did an event over at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center for the Seahawks, right? For an organization coming in. I interviewed Sidney Rice. It was cool to do that. Then Friday night, I auctioneered for the Champions of Change, that gala.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to, I'm taking people in real time, me auctioneering, raising the paddle. Now,
do you tell them, though, I'm wearing these glasses? Because
no, because everything's...
You have to get permission.
Everything's being videoed anyway during the auction
Yeah.
because to make sure everything's good. Now, here's where it can get reckless. I made sure that when I go to edit and I look, I make sure that it's cool. Like there was one time in the video that I think that I caught somebody probably not in a good moment taking a sip. No. I don't put that out.
See, but not everybody would be going overall.
Yeah,
That's the point.
And then what about the whole idea of getting consent before you record?
Oh, there's no assumption of privacy in public. But of course, that law was, written when?
You're
a couple
right,
hundred years ago.
exactly.
We didn't have machine guns
but
either.
Even this morning, Chef didn't know about it.
No.
And so Chef was having a conversation. I got him. I said, hey, Chef, check your phone.
Yeah.
And he checks his phone. And that's all I did with it.
Yeah, and I look down and I see this video and I'm like, oh, that's a weird angle that it's being filmed from. I didn't see Oh, he has the glasses. Here's the thing. You're going to have people walking around in public taking video all the time without any kind of notice to anyone. What about walking into a freaking locker room, right? What about going to the pool and you're just the guy with the glasses? Nobody can tell you're taking video. Hey, you're having a conversation with someone. Oh, hey, that's shared on the internet.
I don't disagree. I
it's
told
like
you this.
horribly reckless.
Yeah, I think there's going to end up being a backlash the more and more people get it.
Oh no. Pandora's box is open.
Google Glass tried to do this years ago, and the universal reaction is this is creepy.
We're here.
But now we're like, oh, it's cool.
We're here now.
Brenda in Grays Harbor County says what I feel. It's true. All this technology is just going to make our brains lazy, and future generations are not going to be able to think on their own. I mean, anymore. It's, it's just like every single day there's something new. But the thing that, if it's not making our brains lazy, it's going to be overstimulation.
Right.
Like you're constantly getting bombarded with messages,
bing,
images, noise.
I didn't. You notice
How do you
I didn't
concentrate.
I didn't push back on Chef. I think you're right. I told you all.
So how much of the time are you going to be using those glasses?
Only when I'm doing stuff. We went to lunch yesterday. Lillian and her son Jarrett. We went to lunch yesterday, and I had the glasses on while the seaplane took off. I had that and had the glasses on when we were looking at my meal and took pictures of the meal that we were having and some of the conversations. Yeah,
that's just too much. Sometimes it just feels good to disconnect entirely.
That's all right. I put them on right now, and I take a picture of you. Bam.
Oh my God, he just did.
I spent 4 days in the woods with no cell phone reception. Let me tell you, that felt good.
Yes.
Daryl and Kent just texted in and says, exactly. Don't use your brain. You will lose it. Hey, Daryl.
I hear you.
It's lose. L-O-S-E, not L-O-O-S-E. Coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. Gee Ursula.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
Get the latest live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Gee Scott here to remind everyone to have a safe Independence Day. DUI patrols are in effect and DUI rates are higher around holidays. If pulled over for DUI, contact DUI Heroes immediately at 1-800-DUI-HERO, available 24/7. Jonathan and his team understand good people make mistakes. They recognize the human being behind the charge and treat them the way we all want to be treated. DUIHeroes.com, 1-800-DUI-HERO, your DUI defense specialist.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can also be a financial hardship. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. This year, we are proud to celebrate 25 years of Northwest Hope and Healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $2.8 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can help us make a difference. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 17th at the Columbia Collective in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of unwavering hope and inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 17th. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/radio. That's leaffilter.com/radio.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. And I got to tell you, this show has gone by fast. All right, Ursula, do you want to get us started with the text messages? Oh, man.
Yeah, actually, it's gone by so fast that I am now out of that page. Okay, hang on. Here we are.
Oh, don't worry. I was never in it.
Our text line has been super busy today.
It has.
So we were talking about whether emergency room workers should go on strike.
Right.
Anonymous in the 425 says, I am a therapist for Multicare. They are making us sign off on our breaks and lunches, but caseload never goes down. I'm tired, y'all. Okay, that's not cool.
No. Peter in Port Orchard says, for the past few years, I have had to spend on above average of time in the hospital. I can't imagine how anyone on the hospital staff can just walk off the job at any time of the day. There are situations where some patients need almost constant attention.
And Multicare also said, even with this 5-day walkout, that the ER is staffed. But yeah, we would love to continue to hear your opinions on that. Mark in Nisqually says, what about the health and safety of patients being cared for by exhausted workers? And that's a great point as well.
Costco executive members get an hour of exclusive shopping. 253 says, but if we go to Costco at 9, the samples and the hot dogs aren't ready. To which I say, 253, that's what I'm talking about. I need them samples.
Elaine in Puyallup says, hey, Ursula, you know you can order from Costco.com for your toilet paper, paper towels, albacore tuna, and canned chicken.
It's too much.
No. We have it delivered to our home. My problem isn't actually physically going to Costco, although when I go there, I want to go for just the bacon or 1 or 2 items, and I always end up with several $100s worth of stuff that I never intended to get.
You and your pre-cooked bacon.
It's the best. Kirkland bacon, pre-cooked, so good.
There was a topic. Gee is super mad about a contractor showing up 15 minutes late, then blowing up the toilet. Max in Puyallup says, I am a flooring contractor. I always give a 1-hour window, and number 1 rule is never use the customer's bathroom.
Bonnie says, dude, you're lucky he even showed up the day that he said he would. Don't ever do major renovations or, God forbid, build a house. You would be humbled.
That's why my boy Justin Dempey, that's my guy, be coming through. See, that's it. But Ursula.
Yes.
You should be lucky they even showed up. Like, what?
Well, there were other people who agreed with you totally. It's a lack of respect when they don't show up. But a lot of people have worked with folks who don't call and they're late. And I think that I give credit to that person who said, I'm going to be, 15, 20 minutes late, and then was only 10 minutes late. The part of the bathroom, yeah. Jamie in Seattle says, when I treat workers well, I get great referrals for other skilled folks. If someone's going to be on the job regularly for a while, you want them motivated to show up, not dragging things out. Also, let them use your bathroom. If you don't, they're going to find one nearby. Trust me, you don't want that to be outside your house.
Okay, Ursula, we're going to go to words to live by faster.
Okay. Well, we wanted to share some words from Lenny Wilkins. Sonic's legend. And he was honored because first, he's got the first statue now at Climate Pledge Arena. And he had a chance to speak over the weekend.
Yep.
And These are great words to live by. So he started off with a message for everybody.
We're a better community when we're supportive of one another, when we help each other, when we take time to recognize one another.
He's so right on that. So right on that.
Yes.
And he also had this to say about the young generation.
Young people, I tell you, you're important. You mean something. So, the young people are tomorrow's doctors, lawyers, politicians. They're our future. And when we're supportive of each other, we make our community better. So,
love that.
That's
Love
a-
that he's being honored with the first statue at Outside Climate Pledge.
And then they announced it. He got the statue, and then 5 minutes later, they said, oh, by the way, come back in August. We're going to retire. We're going to have a statue of Sue Bird. Well, dang. Can Lenny Wilkins have 5 minutes all to himself?
He does have 5 minutes. In fact, he has more than that. Her statue is not coming till August 17th.
I know, but they made the announcement there on the day. All right. Brother
Dude,
Nick,
a second, man.
what do you got, man?
Well, I heard a rumor Gee's contractor started up a fuss when he showed up kind of tardy picking up the later bus, though that's not the big deal breaker giving Gee a steaming head, but a different steam deriving from his bathroom straight ahead. And I'm keeping fingers crossed you didn't offer any food, giving tasty-looking meatballs before locking stalls for good. You might want to give that bathroom a minute if you ended up doing that.
Oh, no! That was Chef, undoubtedly. Come on.
That was a great add-on.
Hey, Nick, we're a good
would not
team.
do that.
Now, Ursula. Now, granted, Chef is very immature for that. But my question to you is, why is that still funny at our age? Why is that still funny?
It's bathroom humor.
It shouldn't be funny.
Last week, while you were gone, I said something that people were like, oh, that's so funny. Because I just said potty talk. Okay, no more. Enough.
Ursula.
What's happened to my career?
I knew it. Thanks, Ursula.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Chef. Good to have your just potty humor here. Nick, great song choice.
Oh, yeah.
The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Hey, Spike O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp, owner of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Dr. Sharp, I keep getting questions from our listeners. When's the right time to have this procedure? My eyes are changing. Should I wait until they're done changing?
Well, I always tell patients, do it now. Don't wait. Whatever age you are, and that's part of the mission of Sharp Vision, is that whatever age you are, whatever prescription you have, we try to find a procedure that works for you. When you're young, LASIK and PRK are great procedures. As we get older, the refractive lens exchange becomes more appealing because that can fix whatever glasses prescription, whether you're farsighted, nearsighted, or have astigmatism, and it fixes it permanently so you don't develop cataracts, and it allows you to see near without glasses.
Do what I did. Schedule a consultation to learn everything you need to know from the best Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E-vision.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa.